Dear students, let us continue solving problems on limits and continuity. Let's have a look at the next question. Question 40. Limit n tends to infinity 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n terms into 1 square plus 2 square etc. till n terms. Divided by n into 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube etc. up to n terms is equal. Okay, so let's have a look at the numerator. Limit n tends to infinity 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n terms. 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n terms. 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n terms can be written as n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Into, there is 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square up to n square. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square up to n square. That sum, we know the formula, sigma n square is equal to n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6 whole divided by n into, what do you have? 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube up to n cube. 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube up to n cube, that is equal to n square into n plus 1 whole square divided by 4. n square into n plus 1 whole square by 4. So you just observe n square gets cancelled. Here n into n, that n square gets cancelled. Here we have n plus 1 into n plus 1, it will become n plus 1 whole square, that n plus 1 whole square gets cancelled. Then 2 1s are 2 2s are, 2 1s are 2 3s are. What is remaining now? That's equal to limit n tends to infinity. In the numerator there is 2n plus 1 divided by, in the denominator there is 3 here and n here, together it will become 3n. So now we have limit n tends to infinity 2n plus 1 divided by 3n. Okay. Now you observe 2n plus 1 and 3n both are polynomials of degree 1. Both are polynomials of the same degree. Both are polynomials of the same degree. Then the value of this limit is equal to the coefficient of highest power of n divided by the coefficient of highest power of n in the denominator. So this is equal to 2 by 3. 2 by 3, second option. Then question 41. Limit x tends to infinity x to the power n e power x to the power n divided by e power x is equal to 0. See, they have already given that this limit is equal to 0 when x tends to infinity for what values of n, that is what we have to find out. Is it for n equal to 0 only, or n is any whole number, or n equal to 2 only, or for no value of n. Okay. So limit x tends to infinity x to the power n e power x, this is equal to 0, they have already given. Okay. Now what should be the value of n? That's the question. Okay. So what we do is we will put some value for n and verify by looking at the options. I'll put n equal to 0, or okay, put n equal to 0, then what happens? Let us see. If I put n is equal to 0, x is tending to infinity, not n tends to infinity. Limit x tends to infinity. If I put n as 0, x power 0, that is 1 by e power x. Now as x tends to infinity, what happens to e power x? E power x will tend to infinity. You know the graph of e power x. Graph of e power x is like this. At 0, e power 0 is 1. When x increases, as the value of x increases, e power x also increases. So when x tends to infinity, e power x will also tend to infinity. Okay. So denominator tends to infinity, numerator is 1. So it's of the form 1 by infinity. So this will be equal to, see, this suggests that when n is equal to 0, the value of this limit is equal to 0. So for n is equal to 0, the result is true. Okay. But here the option is not just n equal to 0, it is n equal to 0 only. So according to this, only its limit should be equal to 0 only when n is 0. But let us try with the different values for n. After this, I put n is equal to 1. If I put n is equal to 1, then we have limit x tends to infinity. I am putting n as 1, so x divided by e power x. Now if I directly apply the limit, I am getting infinity by infinity. E power x as x tends to infinity, we have seen that this also tends to infinity. So this is of the form infinity by infinity. When it is of the form infinity by infinity, we can still use L'Hospital's rule. So if I use L'Hospital's rule here, limit x tends to infinity, derivative of x is 1, derivative e power x is e power x. Apply the limit as x tends to infinity. So denominator becomes infinity, 1 by infinity, so this will give you 0. Okay, that means when n is equal to 1, the result is true. Okay, put n equal to 2. If I put n equal to 2, then what happens? Limit x tends to infinity, x square by e power x. Here if I directly apply the limit, I am getting 0 by infinity form, so I will use L'Hospital's rule. That will give you 2x divided by e power x. Now if I apply the limit again, still I am getting infinity by infinity. Therefore, I use L'Hospital's rule again. You can use L'Hospital's rule as many times as you wish, provided in each term, in each step you should get the limit in the form either 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity. Now it is of the form infinity by infinity. So when I differentiate this, I am getting 2 by e power x. So as x tends to infinity, denominator will tend to infinity. So 2 by infinity, that tends to 0. That means the result is true when n is equal to 2 also. When n equal to 0 also, n equal to 1 also true, n equal to 2 also true. So from this we can say that the result is true when n is any whole number. Okay. So now coming back to this, just observe, if I directly apply the limit, I am getting infinity by infinity. So as you go on using L'Hospital's rule, the denominator will always be e power x only, because the derivative of e power x is e power x itself. So you differentiate as many times as you wish. Every time you are going to get the derivative of e power x as e power x itself. Okay, but numerator what happens? The power of x goes on decreasing by 1. Initially, when x power n it is, once if I differentiate, I am getting n into x power n minus 1. The power is reduced to n minus 1. And further again, if I differentiate it, I am going to get n into n minus 1 into x to the power n minus 2. You just concentrate on the power of x. Initially it is x power n, then x power n minus 1, x power n minus 2, x power n minus 3, etc. When you differentiate it n times, that numerator becomes a constant and denominator tends to infinity. Therefore, the answer will be equal to 0. So limit will be equal to 0 for any whole number. When n is any whole number, the result is true. Second option is the correct answer. Then 43rd question. Limit n tends to infinity, 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, etc. till n square divided by 2n cube plus 3n square plus 4n plus 1. Okay, so limit n tends to infinity. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square up to n square. Sigma n square, you know the formula, n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6 or divided by 2n cube plus 3n square plus 4n plus 1. Okay, so 1 by 6 I will take it outside. 1 by 6 into limit n tends to infinity. Now multiply this, you are going to get n square plus n into 2n plus 1 divided by 2n cube plus 3n square plus 4n plus 1. Okay. Further, if I simplify this, if I multiply, I am going to get 2n cube plus n square plus 2n square plus 1. Okay. So you will get a polynomial of degree 3. Numerator is a polynomial of degree 3. Denominator is also a polynomial of degree 3. In the numerator, the coefficient of highest power of n. In this case, the coefficient of n cube. In the numerator, the coefficient of n cube is 2. In the denominator also, the coefficient of n cube is 2. So, when both are polynomials of the same degree, then as n tends to infinity, the value of this limit is equal to the coefficient of highest power of n in the numerator divided by the coefficient of highest power of n in the denominator. So, that is equal to, here it is 2, denominator also 2 gets cancelled. Hence, the answer is 1 by 6. 1 by 6, second option. Next question, 45th question. Which of the following is not true? A differentiable function is always a continuous function, which is true. Every differentiable function is a continuous function. Next, second, limit of a function, if it exists, then it must be unique and finite. Limit of a function, if it exists, it must be unique and it must be finite. That is also true. The question is which is not true. Okay. Then, if f of x is continuous at a point x equal to a, then limit x tends to a, f of x exists. Yes, that's also true. If a function is continuous at x equal to a, then limit of the function should exist. Limit of f of x as x approaches a must exist. Then fourth option. If limit extends to a, f of x exists, then f of x is continuous at x equal to a. This is not true, because if limit exists, we say a function is continuous at x equal to a if left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value of the function at that point. If limit extends to a, f of x is equal to f of a, then only we can say that the function is continuous at x equal to a. Here limit exists. If the limit exists, then there is no guarantee that it should be continuous. The limit should exist and it should also be equal to the functional value, then only we can say that f of x is continuous at that point. So from here we can only say limit extends to f of x exists. There is no guarantee that f is continuous or not. Therefore, this is not the correct statement. So first, second, third are correct statements and fourth is an incorrect statement. Therefore, it is the correct answer because they have asked us to find out which is not true. So fourth option is the right answer. Then 47th question. Limit extends to infinity x cos pi by 8x into sin pi by 8x. Extends to infinity x cos pi by 8x sin pi by 8x. Okay. Limit extends to infinity x into sin pi by 8x into cos pi by 8x. Okay. And multiply and divide by 2. The reason behind multiplying by 2 is that here we had sin theta into cos theta, sin theta cos theta. If I have another 2 there, it will be 2 sin theta cos theta. That 2 sin theta cos theta can be written as sin 2 theta, right? So 2 sin theta cos theta will be equal to sin 2 theta. So x into sin 2 theta, 2 into pi by 8x divided by 2. That 2 is right here. 1 by 2 into limit extends to infinity sin of pi by 4x into x is here. I will take it to denominator. It will become 1 by x. This 2 I have written here. Say sin 2 theta, 2 into pi by 8x, it will become pi by 4x. Now as x tends to infinity, what happens to 1 by x? When x approaches infinity, 1 by x will approach 0. Okay? So I can use the formula sin theta by theta. Limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta equal to 1. Here theta should be tending to 0. When x is approaching infinity, pi by 4x will approach 0. As x tends to infinity, 1 by x will tend to 0. So pi by 4x will approach 0. So this is as good as limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta. So I write like this: 1 by 2 into limit x tends to infinity sin pi by 4x, sin of pi by 4x divided by pi by 4x into pi by 4. Okay. So 1 by x we had, I got as pi by 4x. So multiplying and dividing by pi by 4. As x tends to infinity, pi by 4x tends to 0. So this is of the form limit theta tends to 0, sin theta by theta. So this expression will become 1. So answer is 1 by 2 into 1 into pi by 4. That's equal to pi by 8. Pi by 8. Third option is the right answer. 49th question. Limit n tends to infinity, summation h from 1 to n, 1 by n cube into h square x. Okay. So h varies from 1 to n. H varies from 1 to n and limit n tends to infinity. Okay. So that sigma I will apply now. 1 by n cube, that will remain as it is. H, in place of h I have to put 1, 2, 3, etc. So h square x, when I put n equal to h equal to 1, I am getting 1 square into x plus, when I put h is equal to 2, I will get 2 square into x plus 3 square into x, so on till n square into x. 1 square x plus 2 square x plus 3 square x till n square x. Okay, this x is independent of n, that x can be taken outside this. Here n is the variable and not x, therefore x can be taken outside this. So x into limit n tends to infinity 1 by n cube into 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square up to n square. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square up to n square. You know the formula, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square up to n square. That sum is equal to n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. You know the formula. One of those n gets cancelled. We have x into limit n tends to infinity. N gets cancelled. N plus 1 into 2n plus 1. I will multiply. I am getting 2n square plus n plus 2n, that is plus 3n plus 1 divided by 6n square. Here one of those n gets cancelled, n square is remaining into 6, so 6n square. Okay. Now this is a polynomial of degree 2, this is also a polynomial of degree 2. Right? Both are polynomials of the same degree, therefore the value of this limit is equal to the coefficient of highest power of n divided by the coefficient of highest power of n, which is 2 by 6. So this is equal to x into 2 divided by 6. Answer is x by 3. X by 3, which is the third option. Next, 52nd question. Limit n tends to infinity 3 into 2 power n plus 1 minus 4 into 5 power n plus 1 divided by 5 into 2 power n plus 7 into 5 power n is equal to. So limit n tends to infinity. Here 2 power n plus 1 is there. I will write that as 2 power n into 2 minus 4 into 5 power n plus 1 is there. I will write that as 4 into 5 power n into 5 divided by 5 into 2 power n plus 7 into 5 power. Okay, that's equal to. Now, here in the numerator, I will take 5 power n as a common factor. We have limit n tends to infinity. I will take 5 power n as a common factor. The 3 into 2, 6 will remain. Say from this I have taken 5 power n as common. So 2 power n by 5 power n will remain. I will write that as 2 by 5 whole power n. Minus, here 5 power n I have taken out of 4 into 5, that is 20 divided by. Here in the denominator also I will take 5 power n as common. Then what will remain here? 5 into 2 power n is there. I have taken 5 power n out. So 2 power n divided by 5 power n, which can be written as 2 by 5 whole power n plus 7. From this I have taken 5 power n out. Okay, this 5 power n gets cancelled. Now as n tends to infinity, 2 by 5 whole power n. Observe this fraction is less than 1. When the fraction is less than 1 and as the power tends to infinity, the value of that fraction tends to 0. So this will be 0. Similarly, this is also 0. So the answer is minus 20 divided by 7. Minus 20 by 7, which is the first option. 53rd question. Limit n tends to infinity 3 power n plus 5 power n plus 7 power n whole power 1 by n is equal to. We have 3 power n plus 5 power n plus 7 power n whole power 1 by n. Okay. Then this is equal to. Here I will take 7 power n as common. If I take 7 power n as common, then here what will remain? 3 by 7 whole power n plus 5 by 7 whole power n plus 1 whole power 1 by n. Right? I have taken 7 power n as common. So in this term 3 power n by 7 power n will remain. I am writing that as 3 by 7 whole power n. Here 5 power n by 7 power n, which is nothing but 5 by 7 whole power n. Here 7 power n by 7 power n, which is 1 whole power 1 by n. 7 power n whole power 1 by n, that will be equal to 7. Right? Into, okay, I will write inside. Limit n tends to infinity 7 power n whole power n, 1 by n, that is 7. Into, say as n tends to infinity, this will become 0. 3 by 7 whole power n, that fraction is less than 1. So as n tends to infinity, that fraction tends to 0. Similarly, 5 by 7, that fraction is also less than 1. So as n tends to infinity, that fraction will also become plus 1. Whole power as n tends to infinity, 1 by n, that will tend to 0. So you are left with 1 power 0. What is 1 power 0? 1 power 0 is 1. 1 into 7 is 7. Okay, in fact, this is not necessary here. I have already applied the limit. After applying the limit only, we got this. So 7 into 1 here. So 7 is the answer. Next, limit n tends to infinity, pi n to the power 2 by n. Pi n whole power 2 by n. Pi n whole power 2 by n. If I directly apply the limit, this is 0. Sorry, pi into infinity, this is infinity. And here 2 by infinity, that will become 0. So this will be of the form infinity to the power 0. Infinity to the power 0, it is again an indeterminate form. And we don't have any shortcut for that. Okay. If it is 1 power infinity, then we have a shortcut. Here we are talking about infinity to the power 0. So I will take this as y. Let y equal to this. Okay, I will call this as y. Now I will take log. Log y is equal to log of limit n tends to infinity, pi n to the power 2 by n. There is a property of limits as well as logarithms that the limit and log can be interchanged. That is, log of limit n tends to a limit extends to f of x can be written as limit extends to a log f of x. These two can be interchanged. So I can write it as log y is equal to limit n tends to infinity, log pi n to the power 2 by n. That's equal to limit n tends to infinity. This is of the form log m power n. Log m power n is equal to n log m. Right. So I'll write that as 2 by n log pi n. Okay. So 2 I can take it out. It's equal to 2 into limit n tends to infinity. I'll write like this. Log pi n whole divided by n. Log pi n whole divided by n. This 2 I have taken out. Okay. So now as n tends to infinity, what happens? This numerator will become log infinity. What's the value of log infinity? As n tends to infinity, what happens to log pi n? You know the graph of log x. This is a graph of log x. See, observe at x equal 1, it is 0. Log 1 is 0. And as x increases, value of log x also increases. By the time x reaches infinity, log x will also reach infinity. So as x tends to infinity, log x tends to infinity. So this will become infinity. And denominator will also become infinity. So this is of the form infinity by infinity. So if it is of the form infinity by infinity, then what can we do? We can use L'Hospital's rule. Okay. So 2 into limit n tends to infinity. Log pi n, if I differentiate it, I am getting 1 by pi n into pi, into the derivative of pi n, which is pi, divided by 1. Here n is the variable, derivative of n is 1. So pi gets cancelled. You will have 2 into limit n tends to infinity 1 by n. So as n tends to infinity, what happens to 1 by n? 1 by n will become 0. So 0 into 2, that's equal to 0. But don't write 0 as the answer, because see what is there on LHS, you just observe. We have log y. So we have put that log y is equal to 0. But we were not asked to find out what is log y. We were asked to find out what is y, right? So log y is equal to 0 means what is the value of y? Y is equal to, because log 1 is equal to 0. Okay? Next. 56th question. Limit x tends to infinity, a power 1 by x plus b power 1 by x plus c power 1 by x whole power x by 3, where a, b, c are real and non-zero is equal to. There is a standard result. I think I have told this already. There is a standard result. You can directly write the answer as a, b, c whole power 1 by 3. Second option is the correct answer. Okay? I have already explained it during the synopsis. Or should I solve? Okay, your wish. I'll solve. We have limit x tends to infinity, a power 1 by x plus b power 1 by x plus c power 1 by x divided by 3 whole power x. As x tends to infinity, what happens to this? When x approaches infinity, 1 by x will tend to 0. So a power 0. Here also b power 0, that is 1. C power 0, 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. 3 by 3, 1 power infinity. So this is of the form 1 power infinity. Okay, if it is of the form 1 power infinity, you know, limit x tends to a f of x to the power g of x. If this is of the form 1 power infinity, then we write this limit as this is equal to e to the power limit x tends to a g of x into f of x minus 1. Limit x tends to a g of x into f of x minus 1. Okay, I'll use that formula. This is equal to, here f of x is this expression and g of x is x. This is equal to e to the power limit x tends to infinity g of x is x into f of x minus 1, that is a power 1 by x plus b power 1 by x plus c power 1 by x by 3 minus 1. Okay, that's equal to e power limit x tends to infinity. Take LCM here, x into 3 is the LCM. So this numerator will become a power 1 by x plus b power 1 by x plus c power 1 by x minus 3 divided by 3. This x is there now, I will take it to denominator. When it goes to denominator, it will become 1 by x. So now it will be 3 by x. Now if I apply the limit as x tends to infinity, if I apply the limit as x tends to infinity, here I am getting 1 by x. As x approaches infinity, sorry, as x tends to infinity, 1 by x will tend to 0. Here 1 by x will tend to 0. So a power 0, that is 1, b power 0 is 1, c power 0 is also 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. Numerator is 0. Denominator 3 by infinity. As x tends to infinity, 3 by x will also tend to 0. This is of the form 0 by 0. If it is of the form 0 by 0, then we can use L'Hospital's rule. Right? Differentiate this. When I use L'Hospital's rule, what do I get? A power 1 by x into log a into the derivative of 1 by x. Derivative of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. Plus, similarly, the derivative of b power 1 by x is b power 1 by x into log b into the derivative of 1 by x, which is minus 1 by x square. Plus, c power 1 by x into log c into minus 1 by x square. Minus derivative of 3, which is 0. Divided by 3 into the derivative of 1 by x. Derivative of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. So I will take minus 1 by x square as a common factor, and that gets cancelled. Okay. So after cancelling it, now I will apply the limit. After cancelling that 1 by x square, I will apply the limit. Then we are left with e to the power. See, this 1 by x square, minus 1 by x square, that we have cancelled. When we apply the limit, here we are going to get a power 0. A power 0 is 1. And here log a. 1 into log a. Here b power 0 it will be 1. Here c power 0, 1. So log b, log c. So we are left with e to the power log a plus log b plus log c. What is that? The denominator. 3 is there in the denominator. 3 into minus 1 by x square. That minus 1 by x square we have cancelled. So 3 is there. Now log a plus log b plus log c. Log a plus log b plus log c can be written as log abc. 1 by 3 into log abc. 1 by 3 into log abc can be written as log of abc to the power 1 by 3. Can be log m is equal to log m power n. So e power log abc whole power 1 by 3, that's equal to abc whole power 1 by 3. As we know, e to the power log f of x is equal to f of x whenever f of x is positive. So e power log abc whole power 1 by 3 is equal to abc whole power 1 by 3, which is the second option. 58th question. Limit x tends to pi by 4 tan x whole power tan 2x. Tan x whole power tan 2x. If I directly apply the limit as x tends to pi by 4, I am getting tan pi by 4. What is the value of tan pi by 4? 1. And the power tan 2x is there. When I put x as pi by 4, tan 2 into pi by 4, that will give you tan pi by 2. We have limit x tends to pi by 4, tan x to the power tan 2x. If I directly apply the limit, this base will be 1. What happens to the power here? 2 into pi by 4 means pi by 2, you get tan pi by 2, that tends to infinity. So this is of the form, when we directly apply the limit, it will be of the form 1 power infinity. If it is of the form 1 power infinity, then we use this formula, e to the power limit x tends to a, in this case limit x tends to pi by 4, g of x into, g of x is tan 2x, into f of x minus 1, that is tan x minus 1. Okay. Now we use tan 2x formula. What is tan 2x? Tan 2x is nothing but 2 tan x divided by 1 minus tan square x. Tan 2x is equal to 2 tan x divided by 1 minus tan square x into tan x minus 1. Okay. Now this can be imagined as a square minus b square. A square minus b square is equal to a minus b into a plus b. So I can write this as 1 minus tan x into 1 plus tan x. Here there is tan x minus 1, so I will cancel that tan x minus 1. So minus 1 will remain here. Limit x tends to pi by 4, 2 tan x divided by minus 1 into 1 plus tan x. Did you understand this step? Say I am writing 1 minus tan square x as 1 minus tan x into 1 plus tan x. Okay, that 1 plus tan x I have written as it is. And 1 minus tan x, I have taken minus as a common factor there. Minus of tan x minus 1, and after that I have cancelled that tan x minus 1. Okay, apply the limit now as x tends to pi by 4. As x tends to pi by 4, we get tan pi by 4, which is 1. 2 into 1 is 2 divided by here, sorry, this e is also there, e to the power 2 into 1 is 2 divided by here minus 1 into 1 plus tan pi by 4. Tan pi by 4 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 1 into 2 is minus 2. So the answer is e to the power minus 1. E to the power minus 1 can also be written as 1 by e, which is the second option. Okay. Question number 60. Limit x tends to a, x tends to a, root of a plus 2x minus root of 3x divided by root of 3a plus x minus 2 root x is equal to. Limit x tends to a, root of a plus 2x minus root of 3x divided by root of 3a plus x minus 2 into root x. If I directly apply the limit as x tends to a, this will give you a plus 2a, which is 3a, root of 3a minus root of 3a, numerator is 0. Denominator 3a plus a, 3a plus a is 4a, root 4a can be written as 2 root a, here also 2 root a. So we will get 0 by 0 form. 0 by 0 means it is an indeterminate form. Indeterminate form. Use L'Hospital's rule. When we differentiate it, 1 by 2 root of a plus 2x into 2 minus 1 by 2 root of 3x into 3 divided by denominator what happens 1 by 2 root of 3a plus x minus 2 into 1 by 2 root x. Okay. Now apply the limit as x tends to a. Apply the limit here. Here I will cancel, no, directly apply the limit. a plus 2a, 3a, 2 by 2 root 3a minus here 3 by 2 root 3 divided by, put x tends to a here, 1 by 2 into root of 4a minus 2 by 2 root. Okay, 3a plus a. Fine. So 2 by 2 root 3a minus 3 by 2 root 3a, that will give you minus 1 by 2 root 3a divided by, in the denominator what happens? I can write this as 2 into 2, 4 root a minus 2. Take LCM here. LCM would be 4 root a. So here it will be 1 minus 3. So we get minus 1 by 2 root 3a divided by minus 2 by 4 root a. Okay, root a gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, we are left with 1 by root 3. Just cross check, I think I have gone wrong somewhere. 1 by 2 root of a plus 2x into 2 minus 1 by 2 root 3x into 3. Okay, that's correct. 1 by 2 root 3a plus x 2 into 1 by 2 root x. Okay, apply the limit as extends to a. 3a plus a, 4a, 2 root a, 4 root a. So 4 by 2 root a. Here, I have written this as 2 into root a, so 4 root a, here 2 root a, 4 root a is the LCM. So 2 root a into 2, 4. So it should be 1 minus 4. So we get minus 3 by 4 root a. Okay, root a gets cancelled. So we have 1 by 2 root 3 whole divided by 3 by 4. That's equal to 1. 4 by 2 into 3 into root 3. In other words, 2 by 3 root 3. That's the right answer. 2 divided by 3 root 3. Third option. Next, 62nd question. Let f of a is equal to g of a is equal to k, and their nth derivatives fn of a, gn of a exist and are not equal for some n. Further, if limit extends to a, f of a into g of x minus f of a minus g of a into f of x plus g of a divided by g of x minus f of x is equal to 4, then the value of k is. Let us have a look at that limit. Limit extends to a, f of a into g of x minus f of a minus g of a into f of x plus g of a divided by g of x minus f of x. They have given that this limit value is equal to 4. And what is the value of k? What is k? F of a is equal to g of a is equal to k. So in this expression, in this limit, wherever there is f of a and wherever there is g of a, I will replace it by k. In place of g of a and f of a, I will write k. So I am getting k into g of x minus k into f of x plus k divided by g of x minus f of x. Okay, here k gets cancelled. That's equal to limit extends to a. Now what is remaining? K into g of x minus k into f of x. I take k as common. K into g of x minus f of x divided by g of x minus f of x. This g of x minus f of x gets cancelled. What will remain? K. Limit extends to a. K is nothing but k only. RHS will have 4. So k is equal to 4 is the correct answer, which is the fourth option. Then, 63rd question. The number of points at which the function f of x is equal to 1 by x minus step x is continuous is. The number of points at which this function is continuous. F of x is equal to 1 by x minus step x. So, as soon as you say step x, immediately you know that step x is discontinuous at all integers. So obviously this function is discontinuous at all integers. How many integers are there? Infinitely many. So this is discontinuous, or in other words, this is not continuous at infinitely many points. So what are the options? 1, 2, 3 and none of these. So obviously infinitely many is the answer, which is not there. Hence none of these is the answer. Okay, students, with this I stop today's class. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.